Hey, did a little rain ever stop us in Seattle? Pull the roof over, play some baseball. Let's go. 3 games of the Baltimore Orioles tonight. Game 1 with the roof extended over Safeco Field. Glad you're with us, everybody, for Mariner Baseball. Dave Sims, Mike Flowers, and the Root Sports crew. The Baltimore Orioles are in town. First visit and the first look at the Orioles, who start today. Second place in the American League East, 6 games behind the Yankees. They've had a very good first half. Buck Showalter talking about a lot of his guys no longer prospects, ready to show what they have. Pitching has been pretty good. The bullpen's been outstanding. The offense has fallen off the last couple of days. Orioles coming off a 3-6 homestand. In the last 4 games, they were drilled by Cleveland, losing 3 out of 4. Hisashi Iwakuma, his first big league start off to a good one. Strike 1 to Robert Andino. Home plate umpire Brian Knight. Mike Winters, the crew chief, at first. Mark Wegner at second, and Wally Bell at third. Iwakuma will work out of the stretch all night, and he's ahead 0-2. Andino, a .231 hitter, 3 homers and 17 RBIs. Iwakuma's had 14 games out of the bullpen. Kevin Millwood having the groin problems again. He's in the rotation for right now. Eric Wedge and Carl Willis hoping 75 to 80 pitches out of Iwakuma tonight. 61 degrees. Wind out of the west at 1 mile per hour. And 1-2 count. Whoa! Over Olivo's head.
I think maybe you surprised him a little bit with the velocity of that fastball. Good fastball at 93 miles an hour. First fastball he threw the game was at 89, but this is 93, as you mentioned, above the head of Andino.
Two pitch. They play Andino straight away, not too deep. Over the head of Iwakuma. Ryan's there. Throws him out by about a step, 1 out. Let's take a look at the rest of the Orioles batting order.
Thank you, David. And 4, Buck Showalter. Andino just grounding out the shortstop. Then it's J.J. Hardy, the former Twin. He will hit second. Betamine. Adam Jones, the all-star for the Orioles. 19 home runs, the halfway point. Then it's Jim Thome just coming over from the Phillies. He will be the DH. Weeders, Chris Davis, the former Ranger, also having a good first half. 13 home runs for him, and Reynolds and Pierce to round out the 9. Numbers for Iwakuma, as Dave mentioned, all of these numbers coming out of the bullpen, getting his first start of the season in tonight's game. He's pitched well at times. Be interesting to watch him. Dave mentioning 75, 80 pitches. If he can work his way through the lineup 2, maybe 3 times, it'll be the difference having to make those adjustments. We're talking about the prospects turning into Major League ball players for Buck Showalter. He's getting ready to find out. You come out of the break, and if you're in the hunt, you're going to find out real quick what you're made of. It'll be the first time these guys will be in the fire, and not always the easiest thing to deal with, especially when you're in the American League East.
We talk a lot about the Mariners' woes hitting. The Orioles going through the same thing recently. As I mentioned, they got outscored 32-18, losing 3 out of 4 at home to Cleveland over the weekend. Swing and a miss by Hardy, 1-2.
About the Orioles and their struggles. June 18th to July 1st, hitting just 199 as a team. He's really had to lean on that pitching staff. It's a good one. One of the things I was surprised about is to look at the Orioles and see where they were at fielding.
They're horrible.
They're last. They're dead last in the American League, and for a club that has won a bunch of games, and they're over 500 at home and on the road. You would think that would catch up to them and cost them some ball games, but they're hanging in there.
69 errors, most in the big leagues. Olivo holds on to the foul, tipped by Hardy, 2 down. Meanwhile, on the flip side, the Mariners, the number 1 defensive unit in all of baseball.
And a couple of adjustments to it. Biggin still in left field. Casper Wells out in center. Saunders still not feeling well. Of course, Gutierrez on the DL. Kawasaki getting the start at second base. Ackley will move over to first. Smoke out tonight, and then Miguel Olivo will do the catching.
Wilson Betamete. Switch hitter, veteran guy's been around. Wilson Betamete back in 08, September, as a member of the Yankees, broke up a Brendan Morrow no-hit bid. That was in Morrow's first start back in 08.
Betamete has been a hot hitter. 11-game hitting streak for him, hitting .472. He has some pop, too. 10 home runs for him.
Get out of play. Got the roof covering us up tonight. There's a little bit of sprinkle at about 4:15, 4:20, right around the time Eric Wedge came out to address the media in the dugout. That's when they hit the button, close this place up. The rain outside, I understand, started coming down a little harder shortly thereafter. That corner, 2-2.
Take a look at the pitches for Iwakuma. Likes to throw a four-seam fastball. Will mix in the two-seamer, and then he'll mix the rest of his off-speed pitches up and change speeds on them. And so far, you look at those numbers.
Off the fist. Seager will put this one away, and a good start here for Masashi Iwakuma. His first big league start. He's one of 3 Japanese in the starting lineup. That's the first time that's ever happened in Major League history. Orioles nothing. Mariners coming to bat. Baltimore Orioles. Dave Sims, Mike Blowers with you. Dan Wilson going to join us in a little bit. Good start for Iwakuma. That's a big confidence builder.
Yeah, and it was interesting to watch him work through the first inning. We showed the numbers for him. A lot of fastballs typically, but in the first inning, he actually threw more off-speed pitches. Yeah. I think we'll watch him get a chance, as you mentioned, the 75, 80 pitches, how far he can get into this game tonight. And it's going to be important. The bullpen has really pitched a lot, so trying to give these guys a break every now and then would help. And I think mixing it up early is a good sign for Iwakuma and the ability to throw strikes with his breaking ball.
His mound opponent, 6'6", Jason Hamill. Here's Ichiro to lead it off. Ichiro's got good numbers against Hamill, 5 for 7. Strike one. Ichiro coming off an 0 for 4 game yesterday. Did drive in a run. Mariners only run with a sacrifice fly in the 3rd inning. It's a loss to the Boston Red Sox 2-1. Mariners and the Sox split the 4-game set. from Hamill. Fouled off.
We'll take a look at Hamill and what he's featuring. Throw a lot of two-seam fastballs. Try to sink it. He can rush it up there. He'll be in the 94-mile-an-hour range. Likes his slider, typical of a sinker-slider pitcher.
Shot foul.
A little better fastball than what we saw from Cook the other night when Cook was so effective against the Mariners. But he's going to try to do the same thing. Throw sinkers away from the guys. Mix in his slider.
Cook was dominant. 81 pitches the other night. Hamill, 10th round pick in 2002 by the Rays. 2-2 to H-Rail. Off again. He went from that organization in 02, got to the big league club in 06. Stayed there through 08. Then in 09 he was with Colorado and stayed there through last year. And was obtained in a trade by the Orioles as H-Rail flips another one back.
Making him work. Last pitch 95 miles an hour on the outside corner to Ichiro. Get his pitch count up. 8th pitch of this at bat coming up.
Might be enough if it stays fair. Just foul.
Take a look at the rest of the batting order for Eric Wedge. Again, mixing things up. Ichiro leading things off. Then it's Casper Wells hitting second. Jaso moves up. He will hit third. Seager dropping down to hit fourth. And it's Olivo fifth. Ackley moving back up hitting sixth. And it's Figgins, Kawasaki, and Ryan to round out the ninth. Starting lineup brought to you by Chevron. But Eric's still trying to do something to get these guys going. I can appreciate that, but at some point the guys are just going to have to find a way to swing the bats here, Dave.
Well, the other thing, too, you've been through this. Here we are. It's July 2. There's Ichiro fouling yet another one off. So Montero gets it
back up.
Yeah.
Montero getting the day off. Smoke out of the lineup today. I mean, there's so much you can do, but eventually it's going to be the group of guys that are in the lineup on a daily basis as Casper Wells waits to hit second. You know, you hope that you get something out of Kawasaki or Figgins, guys that are getting a chance to play a little bit as this ground ball goes out to second. But it's going to have to be that core group of guys that'll get it done for him.
So Dino throws out Ichiro for out number one. Let's take a look at the Orioles defense.
For Baltimore, they have a good one out in center field. Adam Jones, again, the all-star for the Baltimore Orioles. Chris Davis, he can also play the corners of the infield. He is out in right. Then on the infield, J.J. Hardy, the former Twin, steady at shortstop, and Dino and Reynolds. Reynolds, the former third baseman, now over at first. And the young catcher for the Orioles, Matt Wieters. Take a look at the numbers for Jason Hamill. He's been real effective, pitched well for the Orioles at 3.29 ERA. And again, really good sinker. Will rush a fastball up there, 94, 95 miles an hour, and use his slider. He will use that pitch a lot against the right-handed hitters.
Baltimore Orioles, just a few days in third place, been in second place since early June. They started out the season first place in the American League East, 56 of the first 68 days of the season.
Well, they're going to try to pick up a game on the Yankees. The Yankees have lost. They were playing in Tampa, but they lose 4-3.
1-2 count to Wells. 0 for 4 yesterday, 2 for 17 on the stand. How great is it to have been home now for 7 games? 3 more, and then we don't leave till Thursday. Short trip to Oakland. Come back and at 4 days off. Excuse us if we throw a party here and rejoice.
Yeah, and open up back at home, which is nice for the guys. Rangers coming into town as Casper Wells strikes out on a slider down in the way. We mentioned the slider and that he will use it against the right-handed hitters. Down off the plate. 16 pitches so far for Hamill. 11 of them strikes. First pitch strikes to both batters.
John Jaso, 274 hitter. Best batting average on the ball club. Been clutch for the team. Had more than his share of game-winning base hits. Here's the 1-0. Back up the middle. The shortstop, J.J. Hardy, throws him out. So a 1-2-3 inning thrown by Jason Hamill. Second inning coming up here at Safeco Field. Mariners baseball. 4th of July right here at the ballpark. Join us this Wednesday, the 4th of July. U.S. Bank Mariners matinee. Mariners take on these Orioles, wrap up the series. Special start time, 1:10, so get your tickets. Catch America's favorite pastime right here at Safeco Field on July 4th. Get your tickets at mariners.com. Always good to have the astute former catcher Dan Wilson with us. Get the view from behind the mask.
How you doing, Dave?
I'm doing well. Good to see you.
Good. You guys looking forward to the break?
Yes.
Amen, brother.
Yes.
Count on it. And I think the guys in that dugout are going to be thrilled to have some downtime. His former Mariner and All-Star, second selection Adam Jones bounces one to Seager. Big first out. Adam leading the Orioles in just about all categories across the board. Here's Jim Thome, one of the all-time great guys and one of the great sluggers ever in the history of Major League Baseball.
How many career home runs did we look up the other day, Dave?
609. And among left-hand home run sluggers, only Bonds, Ruth, and Griffey have hit more from the left-hand side. 41 years old. His career began back in the Indians organization in 1989. First time I saw him was in '93. And you could tell it was something a little bit different. First breakout year, he had 20 home runs in '94, and it has been on since then. How do you remember pitching this guy, Dan?
I'll tell you what, he was a dangerous out to face in the middle of that lineup. Dangerous hitter. He could thing about him that made him difficult was he could beat you to right field and he can hit the ball deep to left field as well. And when you got a guy that's got power to both sides like that, he's a force to be reckoned with. And he's hit a few homers.
Yes, he has. Just a team from the Phillies a couple of days ago. Went 0 for 4 yesterday against the Tribe back in Baltimore. 1-1 pitch. Chops it towards second baseman Kawasaki. Just gets it. 2 groundouts for Iwakuma here in the second inning. So quick 2 outs here in the second. I'll bring up Matt Weeder, switch hitting catcher. He's a good one. He also made the All-Star team. Second selection for him. He and Justin Smoke, Goose Creek, South Carolina. Weeder is a 195 hitter from the left side. Overall 249. He's got 11 home runs, but he's hit 9 of them as a lefty, but he's got just a .195 batting average. Iwakuma throwing harder than what we remember from early on in the season, or is that about right?
No, he's about 89 to 91, but we've already seen a fastball at 93 from him. So he has a little bit more in there, but it seems to me that lately when he's pitched well, it's been because he's been mixing his pitches up, trying to sink his fastball a little bit more, keep everything down if he can, and not try to throw it by guys. But if he wants to throw a four-seamer up in the zone, he has the ability to do that. And I think at times, because he's been mixing it up, it'll surprise some hitters, Dan, and he can throw a 93-mile-an-hour fastball by guys up in the zone.
4 pitches, he walks Weeders.
Hey, you're right, bro. When you throw a lot of breaking balls, it does sort of accelerate that fastball a little bit. And at 93, you're going to be able to jam somebody like they did with Jim Thome. Got inside there on his hands and got the weak grounder to second. So using that breaking ball to set up the fastball is a good way to go.
When you were catching, and obviously pitchers go down, that's just part of the game, but then all of a sudden you get somebody like an emergency start here, you know your bullpen has already been used quite a bit. Would the manager ever come to you and say, look, Dan, you have to get this guy through 6 innings somehow, some way?
Yeah, it was just kind of the overall sentiment on the bench, too. But the manager would come up and say, hey, let's try to get this guy through 6. Our bullpen needs a little help today. And that's what Miguel's going to do tonight with Iwakuma. Hey, he's going to try to work him. He's out there now sort of discussing it. with the 2-out walk here. Just trying to pump him up a little bit and get him through this inning. And anytime you get this 2-out walk here, it sort of extends the inning, extends your pitch count. So Miguel's getting on him a little bit. Say, hey, let's get this third.
Just try to keep him efficient with what he's throwing.
Absolutely.
Iwakuma's got good credentials from Japan. 107 wins, 69 losses. Mainly with Rakuten. He was also with Kintetsu. Had a 21-4 record back in 08 with Rakuten. Slicing drive deep to left. Figgins has to turn, look, watch, off the fence. Wieters to third. Relay. Late throw into second, and a double off the bat of Chris Davis, the former Ranger. Kid's got some pop. He's a guy that threw a game extra innings earlier in the season against Boston, wound up winning the ball game.
Yeah, threw 2 scoreless innings in that game, but he also has 13 home runs on the year, trying to get number 14. You can see that pitch centered in the middle of the plate. It's down, but he's able to elevate it out to left field. I think he thought maybe he had some action. Just about did. Missed a home run by a couple of feet. Figgins is able to get it in quickly and keep the Orioles from scoring.
First position player to earn a win since Rocky Colavito, August of '68. Said, I just didn't want to get my face hit off. Said a lot of people were complimenting me on, hey, it looked like I'd done it before. He says, I was scared to death out of it.
I think I would have to decline. Thank you very much, but no. Dan?
I'm with you.
He said he threw, he says, I wouldn't. I said, what were you doing? He said, throw a fastball. I had just a little bit, I could cut it a little bit, but nothing major. I just want to get out there and not get hurt. We had seen his power down at Texas.
Yes. He's just been more consistent with it. I mean, he not only has 13 home runs, but he was hitting 271 coming into the game. So his average will go up a little bit with that double.
So I'm kind of
Davis is 12th.
So I'm kind of post up there on that homer blow. As you know, at home, Baltimore, Camden Yards, the ball carries very well there. That was out of there.
Way gone. Mark Reynolds is the hitter. He's got a 1-1 count. In his career, he's been an all or nothing guy, strikeout or home run. He's at first. They tried him at third, didn't work out. 1-2. Where it is, Orioles are in the market for a third baseman.
Good fastball again, 93 miles an hour above the belt. Was able to throw it by Reynolds.
Trying to get out of a 2-out second and third jam. Pitch from Iwakuma to Reynolds. Hey, struck him out. Big moment for Iwakuma. Wieters at third, Davis at second, and 2 down. He gets the big K to get out of the jam. Mariners coming up with Seager, Olivo, and Acklin. Right now, let's take a look at the Mariners calendar, brought to you by Sleep Country USA, with the roof enclosed here in Safeco Field. Coming up, 2 more games with the Orioles after tonight. Travel day Thursday late in the afternoon. We head off to the Bay Area. Enjoy the Bay Area for 3 days, and then enjoy 4 days off before coming back and taking on the Texas Rangers. Here's Kyle Seager, third baseman. Still the team's RBI leader with 46. One pitch. Swing and a miss.
You look at the Mariners and their offensive struggles. Kyle, I think even though his average has been dropping for him and struggling to get into the break, which is typical, I think, for younger players, but you look at his overall numbers, Danny, go at the halfway point, which was yesterday. You're looking at 92 RBIs and 20 home runs. I think anybody would take that from the young man. He's really done a good job, especially with men in scoring position in 2 outs. I think he's played well.
It's a ground ball to Andino. Throws him out. 4 up, 4 down for Jason Hamill. Hey, ladies, grab your girlfriends at Safeco Field Friday, the 13th of July. It's Girls' Night Out. Don't be superstitious. Make sure you pamper yourself in the comfort zone. Located on the main concourse, plus the first 10,000 women 21 and older get a free manicure set. Tickets to Girls' Night Out. They're available right now at any Mariners team store or Mariners.com. Miguel Olivo, the hitter. Olivo DH'd yesterday, went 0 for 3. Still a long road to go for him, hitting just 209. Home run RBI leader for the club last year.
Mike, you mentioned Kyle Seager. I think that's a great point about with runners in scoring position. You got a guy hitting 300 for the year, but he's only hitting 100 with guys in scoring position. He's not doing much damage for you, but Kyle doing a lot of damage with runners in scoring position. And there hasn't been a key guy that really you've been able to pitch. He hasn't had anybody backing him up necessarily all year long. So putting up those kind of numbers with nobody to protect you is pretty good.
I think it is too, and I think for him to have success with runners in scoring position and doing the job that he has done, I think one of the things that it tells you is that he's thinking about situations and understanding what those situations are and having a good plan up there against a pitcher at different times during the game, because really that's what it takes to drive in runs. Olivo gets a base hit back up the middle, first base hit for the Mariners tonight. But I think it says a lot about him really getting his first opportunity to play every day here in this first half of the season.
Yeah, and that, always, as you know, Mike, that idea starts at the on-deck circle where you can kind of read the game, read the situation. Do I need to hit the ball the other way? Do I need to pull this one? And I think Kyle's done a great job of that and shown a lot of maturity here.
Here's Dustin Ackley. His numbers been trending downward. He starts tonight at 239. In there for strike from Jason Hamill.
You've heard some of Eric's comments over the last few days. Obviously, a little bit frustrated with the situation that's going on with the guys. And I'm not going to ask you to what you think and what the answer is, because nobody has it. If we did, we wouldn't be sitting up here. But I know there's been some clubs where guys have struggled, and so have you. What are you thinking about as you go into the break and maybe get that time off and to come back in the second half? To either get the team going, the guys together collectively, or individually, to try to get yourself going and have a better second half.
Well, that's obviously I think for the break, it's good for a day or so to sort of check out a little bit and give yourself a mental break. But then as you start getting back into it, I think it's looking at what you have done well and what you haven't done well, and changing your approach a little bit at the plate. And guys maybe pulling the ball too much, guys maybe not be thinking about the other way, whatever the case may be, and making those necessary adjustments once the break's over.
Ackley behind, 1-2.
And I like what you said there. Really, it's evaluating yourself, and at times you have to be brutally honest about that too, which is not an easy thing, because I've said it before, but most of these guys have had nothing but success. This is the first time they've really struggled, and so to have to go in and think about those things and understand that is a difficult thing, especially when you're such a young club.
Runner goes, hit foul, and wow, nice catch down there. Guy brought his glove, reached up, and he went right in there. 6 rows back of the Orioles dugout.
Take a look at this check swing. Olivo, pretty good jump. This ball will go into the seats. And that was off of the deflection, too.
Yeah, missed the first club, went into the second one.
Nice.
Yeah, Griffey there thought he had it.
1-2 to Ackley. What you guys were talking about, too, and you factor in you don't have an accomplished veteran or veterans helping carrying a load. I know when I talk to guys in other clubhouses, that's the thing they look over the Mariners. That's one of the big things they're lacking.
Yeah, it's tough. And you know, Mike, when we were here, it was guys like Junior was a guy, but guys like Edgar, Tino Martinez was another guy, guys that you could go up and ask, hey, how's your approach? Guys don't even have to ask. You just watch them do what they do. Guys like Edgar, and you couldn't help but become a better hitter.
2-2 to Ackley.
Well, I think that's where, for a young player, you're really fortunate, and not everybody has an Edgar Martinez. But for you and I, both right-handed hitters, to have a guy like that, and even if we're not talking to him, but just to watch him go about his business and watch him in the batter's box, he just has a tendency to really just slow you down, make things real simple, and it kind of gets you right. And that's where you and I were lucky to have somebody like Edgar in the line that we could watch on a daily basis and kind of try to get ourselves going in the right direction.
Exactly. Sean Figgins on deck. He's in left field. Michael Saunders still under the weather. Expect him to be back tomorrow night, according to manager Eric Wedge. 3-2 to Ackley. And Olivo with a decent lead. Olivo takes off. Pitch swung on and goes off the glove of Wieters.
Olivo trying to run again. Eric Wedge putting the game in motion, trying to get something started. Ackley fouls that pitch off. Olivo with a groin issue earlier in the season, so he must be feeling good having him run now.
There he goes again. Pitch fouled off.
I think in this situation, he's not necessarily trying to steal the base. He's just trying to stay out of the double play. If there's a ground ball that's hit, maybe they get Ackley out at first, but they don't end up getting two. And they'll leave him get down in scoring position with Figgins waiting on deck.
Scramble set. 3-2. Good jump by Olivo. Throw down to second. He's out. Strike him out, throw him out. Throw down to the shortstop, J.J. Hardy. Mariners are done in the second. No score. Hasn't tracked just yet. Iwakuma and Hamill throwing a pretty good ball game early on here. Time for AT&T trivia question. The great Earl of Baltimore, Earl Weaver, the Hall of Famer, he managed the Orioles for 17 seasons. How many years did Weaver lead the Orioles to a winning record? Now, he had partial seasons in 68 and 85, but he gets credit for that. So, out of 17, he gets credit if he had a winning record those years. I'm going to go with C14. Anybody else?
Dan?
I like Dave's guess. I was going to go C14 myself.
All right.
I liked when he would turn his hat around and yell at the umpire, so I'm going to go with 16 out of 17 years.
I love some of those, I don't know, it was World Series or just regular season games, and they had him mic'd.
They're great.
Right?
Oh,
Don't you spit at me.
That's
and,
right.
Just,
you touched me. He was great.
Just unveiled a statue of Earl over the weekend in Baltimore. Get a chance to see it when we go down there and go over to Baltimore. We go to Baltimore at the end of our next 10-game road trip, which will be early in August. New York, Baltimore, and Anaheim. Here's Steve Pierce, former Pirate.
Should be a little bit on the warmer side for the boys if we get there in August.
Toasty.
Yep.
With a heat wave up and down the northeast corridor right now anyway. Here's a member of the Pirates. Pirates today at home. 11-2 victors over Houston. 2-0 from Iwakuma. There's a strike. Iwakuma grown a mustache since the beginning of the season. 2-1. Boy, he pulled the string beautifully. 2-2.
A good slider, maybe a cutter running away from Pierce. Well located too, right on the outside corner.
Pierce with the Buccos, most 7 through last year. He's got a 2-2 count. Struck him out. Nice job by Iwakuma. Back-to-back strikeouts. 3 for the ball game. 1 down here in the third.
Again, another off-speed pitch, another breaking ball, maybe a split that time. He ends up getting the strikeout swinging. I think this is where it gets interesting, Dan. Iwakuma going through the lineup on the first side, and he was basically 50% fastballs, the rest off-speed pitches, and a variety of them. And now he has to work his way through it a second and hopefully a third.
Ball 1 to Robert Andino, the second baseman and leadoff man.
Yeah, I think you're right. Out of the bullpen, you don't necessarily have to worry about that. A long guy a little bit, but typically you're going to go through the lineup maybe once as a reliever, but as a starter, you're hoping to get through there 2 and 3 times, so you got to get a little bit more creative second and third time through.
Popped it up. Kawasaki will take it.
Take a look at the split finger grip of Iwakuma on the strikeout. That's good action on that. Bottom falls out of it, and he gets a good swing and miss. McDonald's Supermo.
Pierce way out in front of that. I think you mentioned it earlier in the at-bat. The location of those pitches, outstanding. All on the tracer, you could see all around that outside corner and down, and then that last split finger down in the dirt.
Here's shortstop J.J. Hardy. All right, AT&T trivia question, early going. A lot of people riding with Dan and me at letter C14. Regarding how many winning seasons did Earl Weaver have? Bounded past third base coach DeMarlo Hale, who was bench coach in Boston the last few years for Terry Francona. Here's DeMarlo. First base coach is Wayne Kirby. Pretty good hitter with the Cincinnati Reds during his career.
Former teammate of mine. We were with the Dodgers together. Great guy. A lot of fun.
Strike 3 call. Iwakuma with his 4th strikeout. 2 here in the third. See if the offense can get cranking. You'll have Figgins, Kawasaki, and Ryan when we get back. 3 here. The Orioles here in Seattle against the Mariners. For the record, I had the right state, wrong team. Wayne Kirby played for the Indians, the Dodgers, and the Mets in his 8-year career, the first base coach for Baltimore. Higgins fouls one back. Figgy had 184, 2 home runs, 10 RBIs. Played a good left field last few days.
He really has. Picked up an assist the other day on a ball that was important in the game that the Mariners won. Late in the game, throwing somebody out at second base. I can't remember who it was. Oh, it was Gonzalez. Gonzalez hit the ball down the left field line. Played it perfectly. And been able to catch everything out there. Had the big sacrifice fly to get the Mariners a win.
One and two.
He was 1 for 3 yesterday. Had a walk and scored a run. The other thing that hasn't helped Eric either is watching Gutierrez go down on the DL with the concussion, and then Saunders on the next day gets sick, and he hasn't been in the lineup since.
That might be enough. It is. Fair ball. Figgins taking an aggressive turn. He'll slam on the brakes as Bettamy gets it back in. Base hit for Figgins.
As a hitter, this is a beautiful thing. Pitch down, hits it off the end of the bat. Throw it down the left field line, right inside the chalk. Bettamy gets on it in a hurry, but Figgins was hustling. He was thinking he was going to get a double out of that. Sometimes it'll spin away from the third baseman and you can get 2 out of it.
There's Kawasaki. Does not have a sacrifice on the season. Bettamy, he's in at third. Gets a bunt down. It's a good one. Kawasaki gets the job done. Sacrifice. And going down to second is Sean Figgins. Here's Tom Glasgow.
All right, Dave, thank you. From the Ford Sports Desk, let's check in on the Angels in Cleveland, trying to get their business taken care of, minus one of their key components. Talking about the rookie Mike Trout, scratched from the lineup with an injured finger. Howie Kendrick did his part in the 7th solo blast. That was his 5th home run of the season. The Angels shut out Cleveland 3-zip. It's our Sterling Banks score from around the league.
7 strong innings from Jared Weaver. Thank you, Tom. A bloop and a sacrifice. Ryan's got a runner in scoring position now with 1 out.
Brendan had a good day yesterday, going 2 for 4.
Inside to Ryan. Three for 16 on the homestand. Made Defensive Player of the Month by ESPN Stats and Information. Up the middle, base hit. Short right field. Adam Jones with the throw. Figgins coming to the plate. He's in there. Mariners have a 1-0 lead. RBI for Brendan Ryan. Moreno is 20th RBI. Nice work by the bottom third of this order. 3 guys hitting 186 or less come up with a base hit, a sacrifice, and an RBI single.
And for Brendan Ryan, had the game winner the other night when Felix was pitching, and it was a similar type of hit. Really a good piece of hitting. You know Hamlin's going to try to throw that sinker in on him. He does a great job of keeping his hands inside of it and basically forcing this ball back up the middle. Dan, nice line drive over the second baseman's head.
Yeah, that's what we've talked about. You have to do with that sinker baller. Get him to get the ball up and then not try to pull that pitch, but hit that ball up the middle or the other way. We saw Brendan do that with a slider last time for the game-winning hit. This time got that sinker inside, stayed inside it nicely. And you know as well as I do, Uncle Lee used to talk about there's a lot of hits and RBIs the other way, and Brendan's sure proven that.
Yeah, it really is. And yesterday we talked about it. We showed he had 2 hits yesterday, and it was similar also. He's hitting the ball back up the middle, not trying to do too much with it. If we take a look at the slide by Figgins, he'll slide wide and reach back with his hand to touch the plate.
Mariners have had a lot of good fortune the last few days. Ryan on the throw will take second. Cody Ross had a couple of balls that got away from Saltalamacchia in the Boston series, and Mariners came away with a couple of victories.
Well, that was good base running by Brendan Ryan also. He knows Adam Jones, one of the stronger throwing arms. And he thought, well, I'll just keep running. If they cut it off and get him out, that's okay because you still get the run. But he ended up at second and changed places with Biggins to get himself into scoring position because he's being aggressive.
Having seen Cook, how much is that helping these guys? Cook the other day with Boston.
Well, you would hope that it does. I mean, again, Hamill, he throws harder in the last fastball. He'll mix in more four seamers, and that last one at 95. Cook was more between 88, 89, and throwing what Dan likes to call a super sinker. I don't think Hamill's sinker is quite as much, but he throws it harder, Dan.
Yeah, and I think when we watched Cook, that ball was down. I don't think he missed up in the zone at all that afternoon. And that one to Ryan was up. We've seen some balls up in the zone where guys have been able to get the bat to it. So that to me is the difference. He's just elevating a little bit more than Cook did.
Great work. Bottom third of the order. Mariners have an early lead here. Third inning, and Ichiro trying to pick up another run. Ichiro with 27 runs batted in. Waiters will step out, throw down first. Plate to play, strikeout 2-3. 2 outs here in the third inning. Make sure you join us tomorrow evening for Felix's next start as we celebrate the holiday early with the red, white, and blue edition of the King's Court. For $30, you can grab a seat in Felix's Royal Seating section. Plus, you're going to get a cake card, plus a special 4th of July King's Court t-shirt. It's a beautiful shade of blue. Pick up your ticket right now, mariners.com/Felix. Wei Chen against Felix tomorrow, and then Jake Arrieta against Hector Noesser. Wrap up the series on Wednesday afternoon. Strike one to Wells, who struck out swinging first inning. Same pitch.
Orioles taking a look at the scouting report. Casper, since he's been recalled, has jumped on fastballs early in counts, which is a smart thing to do, but they've obviously done their homework. We've seen more breaking balls than him probably out of anybody else in the lineup so far tonight.
2 outs, runner at second, 0-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. 4th strikeout for Hamill. Good news. Brendan Ryan with an RBI single. Mariners lead at 1-0. And how about this play? That great look from up top. Dan, you've been there with these kinds of plays.
Oh, yeah. You know, as a catcher, Dave, you like that ball to either make it to you in the air or bounce a little bit further out in the grass. This is just a short hop that Wieters is going to have to try to pick and then make the tag. It's a really tough play, and he's not able to make the pick or the tag. But you do like to see that truer hop out more in the grass or get that ball in the air, and that was a tough play for Wieters in between, and good luck for the Mariners.
Similar type of play that Saltalamacchia tried to make against the Red Sox on their game winner when it was Ackley, I believe, that slid into home. Now a little bit easier when you have that first baseman's mitt on to pick that than when you have the catcher's glove.
Here's Bettamy to lead it off. Also, you want to get that so you can brace yourself, right? Dig those feet in.
Yeah, it's just an easier catch. When you got to try to pick it, tag the runner, and he's arriving, the ball's arriving at the same place, same time, it's a tougher play. But Jones with a good arm, but just left that too much of a short hop for the catcher. You can see the ball bounce right before Wieder's glove, and it's a tough play to stick that ball and then make the tag. Wieder's doing the best he can. He's got to hold his ground and make the tag. If he reaches out to get that ball, Figgins is going to be safe for sure. His only play is to wait, get the short hop, and try to make the tag.
Yeah, seeing that replay, he clearly could have reached out to catch it in the air, but by then Figgins would have been by him.
A 1-2 count to Wilson Betemit.
It's basically like a lot of infielders we talk about, do or die plays. It's kind of what he's doing right there, right?
Yeah, it's absolutely a do or die play. It's always better to wait for the ball to get further to make the tag, because if you go out to reach it, your arm is a lot slower than that throw coming in. You're never going to get Figgins.
Kawasaki gets a nice hop. Goes out Betemit.
And I know you know that because when you would throw it down to second, you'd like for the shortstop or second baseman to let the ball travel, right?
Absolutely. When he reached out, got it out in front of him, and then made the tag, it was a much slower play than if he just let that ball come all the way to the bag.
Here's your Century Link high-speed pitch. Hamill at 95 and Iwakuma at 93. One out. Here's Adam Jones. First pitch swinging. Grounded out to third. Leading off the second inning. First pitch swinging again. Pops it up. Seager foul territory. Has the play. 2 outs. Big out again. There's Jim Thome. Rounded out the second. Well struck. That's a base hit by the 41-year-old veteran. Base hit for Jim Thome. Second hit of the ball game for the Baltimore Orioles.
And his first hit since joining the Orioles. Still hit a fastball. That one's centered 91 miles an hour in the middle of the plate. Iwakuma trying to get ahead of him.
There's a reason why he's tied for 7th all-time with Sammy Sosa with 609 home runs. That's some great form.
Yeah, a lot of power behind that swing.
His final hit for the Phillies was a walk-off homer back on the 23rd against Tampa Bay. There's Matt Wieters. All-star catcher, walked his first time up, got the third on the double by Chris Davis. Mariners left him there.
That swing right there, Mike. It looks like for some guys it's just like riding a bike. For other guys, it's like learning how to ride a bike. Every time you step in there, you can get lost.
And Thome, he's been doing it for a long time, and you know, at some point you would expect age to catch up to him, but he just continues to put up numbers. As we mentioned, 609 career home runs. I can remember he and I were breaking in about the same time, and he was a third baseman with the Indians. He struggled a little bit in his rookie year, and they turned around. I think they gave him, it was when the Indians started tying up all their young talent. They gave him a 3 or 4 year deal, and I was thinking, what are they thinking about? I guess they got that one right.
They got it right.
600 home runs later.
Pretty good fastball, too. Showed pretty good bat speed for 41.
Inside to Wieters. Got a 3-0 count. More numbers for Mr. Thome. Look at the RBIs. 1,689. Slugging percentage at .556.
Yep, future Hall of Famer for sure.
On deck, Chris Davis. Davis, the right fielder. Wieters is aboard. Second walk issued by Iwakuma, both to Wieters. Chris Davis doubled off the left center field wall last time.
They missed a home run by a couple of feet. The Orioles in a second, third situation with 2 outs. Iwakuma able to strike out Reynolds, who's waiting on deck.
A little bit of trouble here for Iwakuma. Checked down with Wally Bell, didn't go. Orioles threatening again. That is way gone. Chris Davis unloads about 30 rows up. 3-0 Baltimore. Twice he's hit the ball hard against Iwakuma, and this one cashes in for Davis's 14th home run. RBIs 36, 37, and 38.
Well, he gets an off-speed pitch. The pitch that he hit off the wall in left field was a fastball that was in the middle of the plate and down. This pitch, 85 miles an hour. It's like a changeup, maybe a split, but again, middle of the plate and down. He put a charge into it.
1-0 count both times in both of his plate appearances. Here's Mark Reynolds. And Earl Weaver watching this game back in the Baltimore area. He's probably saying, that's what I'm talking about, a 3-run homer.
Instant offense. 3-run thing.
As we're hearing mock between breaks, they were goofing around. And Earl, a lady from Bellevue wants to know why you don't steal bases. I don't need those jackrabbits clogging up the bases. I need those big guys that hit the 3-run homers. That's a clean version, but you know, you get the meaning. Mr. Weaver. Mr. Weaver with the heater and everything. Here's Seager throwing across. Throws out Mark Reynolds, who can be a dangerous hitter at times. But boy, you felt the power of the Baltimore Orioles. 4th in home runs in the American League. Davis with team home run number 100. Fourth coming up here at Safeco Field. Dave Sims, Mike Blowers, Dan Wilson on hand here. Pretty good crowd. Roof covering us up tonight, protecting us from the wet weather. John Jaso, breaking ball to him, strike one. Rounded out the shortstop's first time up. Mariners took the lead. Bottom of the third, a one out RBI single by Brendan Ryan. But Chris Davis just unloaded a 3-run shot. Baltimore's up 3-1. Ground ball down to Hardy. One down. Let's revisit our AT&T trivia question. Earl Weaver managed the Orioles 17 seasons. How many times did he lead them to a winning record? Dan Wilson and I went with 14. Mike went with 16. Fans rode with us at sea. Survey says, how about this? 16 seasons winning record. He went 73 and 89 and 86 his last season as a manager. 6 postseason appearances. Won a World Series in 1970. Here you go, Mike.
That's impressive. 16 seasons of winning baseball. Wow.
He wore number 16, didn't he?
I did.
That's why you went with it. Nice.
Yeah, I didn't think about it at the time. It was more Earl Weaver and the hat turned around, screaming at umpires.
Snag down there by Reynolds. 2 outs.
I was thinking that Weaver wore 41, and it was the opposite of that. So 14, like maybe it was the one. Never know with Curtis.
Minnesota Gopher overthinking it a little bit tonight, Dan.
Can you ever overthink Curtis, though?
No, you really can't. I do it all the time.
4 in a row retired by Jason Hamill since the Ryan RBI single. Here's Miguel Olivo. Got the Mariners' first hit. A base hit to center, 1 out in the second. Hardy will get another one. Quick inning. 1, 2, 3. Go the Mariners. Hopefully Iwakuma had a chance to breathe deeply a couple of times. Iwakuma, his first major league start. Big blow was back in the 4th inning on a 1-0 pitch. Chris Davis, a 3-run homer into the right field stands. Second time Davis touched him up. Davis got him for a double on a 1-0 pitch in the second inning. Davis has 2 of the 3 Baltimore hits. Coming up here in the 5th, they'll go 9-1 and 2. Steve Pearce, Robert Andino, and J.J. Hardy. Pierce struck out in a 2-2 pitch in the third. Ball one to Steve. Two and oh. Play Pierce straight away. Wells a couple steps towards left. Missed inside, 3-0. And Dino, second baseman, leadoff man, he's on deck. Four-pitch walk. Third walk issued by Iwakuma. Here's Tom Glasgow.
Dave from the Ford Sports Desk. Let's take you all down to the Sunshine State. It's the Yankees and Rays going head to head. We pick it up in the bottom of the seventh. Yankees up 3-2. Pinch hitter Brooks Conrad hits the RBI double deep to right. That sends home the tying run. The rally continues when Elliott Johnson lines it under the glove of Mark Teixeira. Teixeira's first error of the season allows the winning run to score. Rays take it 4-3.
Boy, Teixeira usually gobbles those up. He's a multiple Gold Glove winner.
As Tom mentioned, first error of the year, and that looked like an easy play.
It looked like it came up for him and everything.
Yeah, yeah. Take a look at what Iwakuma has been using. Four-seam fastball at 37%. More sliders than normal. 29% with the slider tonight.
0-1 to Andino from first. Steve Delabar called back last week from Tacoma again.
Well, Iwakuma, 75, 80 pitches is what Eric Wedge wanted out of him. He's at 60 right now.
One. Eric Wedge's ball club 3-4 in this homestand after splitting 4-game set with Boston. 3 more games here, 2 more after tonight. Day off, and then Oakland for 3. Sharp right now, 2-1.
We talk about and we hear about pitch counts and the splits all the time, and I guess the rule of thumb is for every 2 strikes you can throw 1 ball and you're in the area that you need to be in. But it's really different for different starters, right? Some starters are just going to throw more balls. I can remember Jamie was just going to pitch off the plate and probably not throw as many strikes as far as getting that ratio right. It just kind of comes down to the pitcher, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And we talked the other night about guys who are effectively wild, who may have a split about 50-50 and still be very effective. So I think you're right. It does depend on who the starter is. A guy like Jamie, you mentioned Jamie, he's not going to give in to the hitter. He's not just going to throw one down on the middle of the plate or even on the outer third. He's going to nibble at those corners and make the hitter hit his pitch. So he may have a little bit of a skewed split as well. So you're right. I think it depends from pitcher to pitcher.
Do lineups have a difference in that too? If there's a lineup, we just saw the Red Sox, obviously one of the better lineups in the American League. Does that change things a little bit for you?
Yeah, obviously if your game plan's going to change a little bit and you're going to face a team like Boston where you're going to want to stay down or you're going to want to stay away
2-2 pitch, foul off.
A little bit more, you're going to maybe change that a little bit, but for the most part you're probably going to be in the same general ballpark from game to game.
Steve Pierce at first. He walked on 4 pitches. 2-2 count now to Andino. dirt. No go.
One of the things that may change, though, Blow, is the pitches that you throw to get those strikes. If a guy's got a good slider going that day, you're going to go with his slider. If he doesn't have his slider, you may go with something else. But it may differ the pitch that you're getting more strikes with, or you're going to get hit the corners with, but it should probably be in the same area.
Nobody out here. Top of the fifth. Runner goes. Swung on, hit to left field. Figgins has it tracked. That's the catch. One down, and back to first goes Steve Pierce. Hey, time now to check our Banner Bank building to the future. How about the Everett Aqua Sox? Their pitching staff's getting it done. 13-4, great ERA. Opponents hitting 239, and they like the strikeouts over the walks, 132 over 65. A lot of good pitching. The minor league system here for the Mariners. J.J. Hardy struck out swinging, struck out looking. Strike one.
There you go. 67 pitches for Iwakuma. Again, Eric's trying to get 75, 80 out of him. 37 strikes out of the 67.
Mariners going 11-16 in the month of June. Orioles, they went 13-13. Foul ball. Carl Willis talking about Iwakuma. So he's got good command of all four pitches generally, and it's liked his development during the course of this season after largely a month of inactivity in April.
Yeah, in April we didn't see him hardly at all.
0-2. To the count.
Carl down a couple of starters right now without Millwood and Ramirez. I guess you can look at it as the Mariners were pretty fortunate, though, to get through almost 3 months with the same 5 guys for the most part.
They were what, the first Mariners are the first team not to have to break up their 5, their original 5. Runner goes, delayed steal, got a chance, got him. Nice throw by Olivo. Guns down Pierce. Miguel 13 out of 41 throwing out base runners.
I think Pierce thought this ball was going to get away from Olivo. He has such a strong arm. You give him a chance to wind up and fire a strike down to second, you have no chance. He's been so good at throwing out runners this year, and I think Pierce took off because he thought this ball was going to get away from him, and when it was thrown in the dirt.
Perfect strike right there by Miguel, right on the money. Easy play, easy tag for Kawasaki.
2 outs and a 2-2 pitch coming to Hardy. Popped it up, looks like it's playable. Olivo's located it, getting help from Seager. Miguel stays with him, makes the play. Nicely done. So Olivo with that catch of the foul pop and a throw out of Pierce. Big highlight in the 5th. A 3-1 Orioles lead. 1. Baltimore lead, bottom of the 5th. Here's Ackley to lead it off. Looks at a strike. Ackley struck out first time. Ackley, Figgins, and Kawasaki here in the 5th. Mariners took the lead in the 3rd inning. 1 out RBI by Ryan after Figgins had dropped in a bloop behind third. Kawasaki sacrificed him to second. Then Chris Davis, 2 out, 2 on in the 4th. Monster home run into the right field seats for the 3-1 Orioles lead. There's Chris. His 14th home run, took his RBI total to 38. And Dino catches it cleanly, first out. Make sure you join us this Wednesday, July 4th. Mariners and the Orioles, and it's salute to the men and women of the armed forces with a great deal to catch Mariners baseball on our nation's birthday. Receive $5 off U-level seats or $10 off main level seats when you show a valid military ID right here at Safeco Field at the box office or any Mariners team store. Here's Figgins looking at strike 1. Figgy with a base hit and a run scored. The Mariners run tonight.
Well, you can see why Hamels has pitched well this year for the Orioles. He came into the game with a 3.29 ERA, but even in this one, 64 pitches, 45 strikes, 16 batters to face, 12 first pitch strikes. He does a good job of mixing up, I think, his 4-seamer and his 2-seamer, Dan. When you look at the scouting report or talk to some people about him, you'd think he's just a big sinker baller, but he's more than that, really.
Yeah, and it's important to use that 2-seamer to hit your spots and hit your locations, and then let that sinker do its stuff with the movement that it has. Probably uses that 4-seamer early in the count to get ahead, and then goes to the sinker with the movement.
A lot of movement on that pitch as he strikes out Figgins. 5th K tonight for Hamill. Seven in a row retired by Hamill.
79 miles an hour takes a lot off of that pitch as Figgins swings over the top of it. He's doing a good job of mixing things up. One thing too that's tough, I know as a hitter, you get a pitcher that is tall as he is. And I don't remember, I've seen him before, but I don't remember being as tall, but really throwing downhill.
Yeah, and you can really see it on that curveball, getting on top of that one so well and getting that nice hard bite downward.
And Dino boots it. Kawasaki's aboard.
Well, we talked about the Orioles and their defense, last in the American League. That's a routine play. Take a look at it, plenty of time, little backhanded play, and just doesn't get his glove down in time and takes it off the ankle. Look at the Mariners, a base runner. Kawasaki on with an error.
70th error by the Orioles. That's the most in the big leagues. Brendan Ryan with the RBI last time, single to center. He's 3 for his last 5. And Dino with the error for Robert, his 11th, second most on the team after Bettman, 12.
Not a bad idea. Bettman was playing deep at third. Brendan's able to get that ball down, and he probably has himself a base hit. If Kawasaki move him up in the scoring position and turn the lineup over again.
Kawasaki practices those dives before every game. Takes a very aggressive lead. Gets back.
There you go. The errors, most in the American League. The Orioles, that one, an even 70 on the year. Mariners on the other end of that defensively. They've been one of the better clubs in the American League all year long.
Starting today, best in the major leagues. Mariners with 34 errors, tied with the White Sox, the fewest in the game. It's impressive. Lions got an 0-2 count. One and two. Fielding percentage to the best right here in our ball game. Brendan Ryan and J.J. Hardy. Hardy from up here in the booth, tall and rangy, reminds you of the late great Mark Belanger. Great shortstop for the Orioles back in the 60s and early 70s. He didn't hit, but boy, did he make every play. Ball and the bat. Leave Ryan, and he's thrown out by Benameat. That'll do it for the Mariners. No runs, no hits. There was an error. There was a man left. Sixth inning coming up, 3-1 O's.
Spokane's newest destination resort. And by Jack in the Box. Right now at Jack in the Box, you can try the new Chipotle Chicken Club combo for just $4.99 plus tax. Tom Glasgow with you from the Ford Sports Desk, checking out some of the action around Major League Baseball. Let's take it to the Motor City. The Tigers taking on the Twins. We will pick up the action in the top of the fourth, game tied at 1. Trevor Plouffe puts the Twins on top. A 2-run single lined into left field. The third baseman now has 33 runs batted in this season. The Twins use a 4-run fourth to beat the Tigers 6-4. And there are the latest standings in the American League Central, with the White Sox leading the way over the second-place Indians. Let's rejoin Dave, Mike, and Dan.
All right, Tom, thank you very much. Congratulations to Ron Gardenhire on that win, career victory number 900. There's Wilson Benameat to lead off. He's with his 7th big league team since getting to the big leagues in 01 with Atlanta. Fouls one back. Atlanta, the Dodgers, Yankees, Chicago White Sox, Kansas City, Detroit, now the Baltimore Orioles. Steve Delabar takes over for Iwakuma.
This will be a different look for the Orioles. Iwakuma right around 90, 91 miles an hour, mixing it up with a lot of breaking balls. Delabar pretty much go right at him with a good fastball. His fastball will be 95, 96 miles an hour.
Streak called. High into the strike zone. Betemit didn't believe it. So Delabar gets off to a good start here in the 6th. Hey, now's your chance to ask the booth anything you want. But first, we'll tell you about the voice of reason, Sound Transit. And ride Sound Transit and save on gas and parking. Plus, help the environment. Visit soundtransit.org for details. Adam Jones is going after the first pitch in both of his at-bats tonight. Does it here. Great year for Adam, leading the ball club in batting average, RBIs, home runs, doubles, hits, and total bases. To left field on a line. He made the catch! It's like Fagans had given one up, and boy, that little bit of extra hang time, and he makes a lovely catch. Well done, 2 outs.
And he used every bit of the webbing in this glove, because this is a screaming line drive. Hit right on the button, and Figgins trying to get back in time as he leaps and makes the catch, staying with the play. We were talking about it earlier. He's made some good defensive plays since he's had an opportunity to get in the lineup. That being another one. Good play.
Here's Tomey. Base hit to right and a run scored. Big glove, too, helps. Just enough hang time. I jumped just a tad too early, but it worked out really well for him.
You know, the little bit that I had to go out in the outfield, Dan, give me the biggest glove I could find out there. It helps you with your range.
I can't even fathom what it would be like to be out there. That's a lot of green to cover, Blow.
It is.
Fools Tomey. So Delabar facing Tomey for the first time. Strikes him out. Has a 1-2-3 inning. Well done by the Mariners. They're down 3-1. The difference right now, a 3-run shot in the 4th, 3-1 Orioles. And fans, be sure, check out the all-new Root Sports Game Connect, an interactive second screen experience, bringing fans closer to the game with live stats, trends, and analysis. Root Sports Game Connect. Connect now at rootsports.com. See if the Mariners can get cranking with the offense. Ichiro, Wells, and Jaso tap the order against Jason Hamill, who struck out 5. Giving up a run on 3 hits. Ichiro ground out and strikeout. 2 strikes. Kids enjoying the ball game tonight. He's got the Ichiro shirt, and his hero sent it down his way. Not bad. 2-2. Struck him out. 6 strikeouts for Hamill. 1 down here in the 6th.
I know as a hitter sometimes you try to eliminate pitches. But right now Hamill throwing a lot of strikes as he throws this fastball by Ichiro. But you look at overall 53% fastballs, and he has a good one. So he's able to mix in all those off-speed pitches and throw strikes with them. Makes it tough for hitters. I know, Dan, for myself, I would look, and typically starters have 4 pitches. You can eliminate 1 before the game even starts. And you're hoping to get rid of another one if you can, just to make your job a little bit easier. But Hamill, he's been impressive.
Yeah, he's mixed it up really well, like you mentioned. That fastball there on Ichiro had good movement on it. He's got the good movement. He's got a little bit of a run. He's got a little bit of a sink. But you're right. He's mixed in his breaking ball and really kept him off stride.
Between Ichiro and Wells, they've combined for 4 strikeouts. Casper's got a 1-1 count here. 1 out in the 6th. Check himself. 2-1. Mariners got their run in the 3rd. Mounted no other threats. This might be the beginning of one with 1 out. Base hit for Casper Wells.
Casper gets the fastball he's been looking for. 93 miles an hour in the middle of the plate. Casper hits it hard back up the middle. Take a look at our McDonald's Supermo. Casper barreling that pitch up. Solid line drive back up the middle.
Here's John Jaso. Twice grounded out to short. Slicing drive, left field, backs up. Pierce reaches up, can't make the catch. Digging for 3rd is Wells. He's in safely. Jaso in safely at 2nd. So a drop ball deep left field by Steve Pierce. They're calling it a double. And the Mariners in business. 1 out, 2nd and 3rd.
And I think it should be a double. This is a fastball running away from him, and he hits it on the butt. I think most of the time you see a major league outfielder get his glove on it like that, you would expect him to catch it, but that's a tough catch as he runs back in a hurry, reaches up as far as he can, hits off the top of his glove, didn't actually get it in there. It's off the outside of it. Great shot from our McDonald's Supermo as Pierce goes back. And good base running both by Wells and Jaso. Wells looking to make sure that it's on the ground. The minute he sees it hit, he takes off for 3rd, and Jaso running hard all the way. Is able to get into 2nd, so an opportunity now for the Mariners.
Here's Kyle Seager, the RBI leader.
Kyle hit the ball hard his last time up, lined out to the first baseman, Mark Reynolds. Orioles will play their infield back, and Kyle can put this ball in play on the ground. He should pick up an RBI right here.
Mariners about hit Baltimore now 5-3, looking for some runs. Pitch. Plate 2-0.
Like you said, you played a little outfield. You see there on that one with the ball coming off of Jaso's bat, that ball's going to slice toward the line more times than not. It looked like it was that movement that got a little bit of trouble out there in left field, because that was the way he missed it, was just over the top of his head, just a hair.
I would agree with you, and also the velocity of the ball. That was a screaming line drive from Jaso. Didn't have a lot of time to make an adjustment in the outfield.
Swinging bunt. Hamill throws out. Seager, runners hold. 2 down. Tough break in a 2-0 count. Coming up tomorrow and Wednesday, middle and final games of this series. Chen against Felix Hernandez tomorrow. Jake Arrieta and Hector Noese on Wednesday, July 4th. We'll see if Olivo He can cash it in. He's got a base hit the center and a ground out to short. Strike one. Oh, 1 to Miguel. And he's behind 0-2. Wells and Jaso, the base runners. Do it again.
Orioles playing Olivo straight away on the infield and the outfield.
One, 2 to Miguel Olivo. Struck him out. That'll do it for the Mariner threat. Leave 2 stranded. 7th inning coming up. It's 3-1 Baltimore.
Seattle Mariners baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Ford. We are local. And by Widmer Brothers Brewing, craft brewing in Portland, Oregon since 1984. Let's send it back to the booth.
All right, Tom, thank you. We just had a visit from Jacob Green, the former Seahawk. He was a great player. He's working at Texas A&M now, working in their football program now. And we were told that when he was playing here with the Seahawks, he was a sweet holder. How about that? Big baseball fan.
Wow. He looks great.
Sure does. Good player. Got a 3-1 Baltimore lead, 7th inning. Matt Wieters going to lead off. Matt Wieters, Chris Davis, and Mark Reynolds. Boys, the Mariners have had their opportunities, haven't they?
And again, 1 for 5 with men in scoring position tonight. Had an opportunity there. Runners at second and third, just one out. Dan and Kyle, who's actually been their best guy in those situations, ain't able to get it done. And then Olivo strikes out after that. So it's been tough.
Strike one to Matt Wieters from Steve Delabart. Took over for Hisashi Iwakuma. Won 5 innings, a 3-hit, 3-run ball, 3 walks, and 4 Ks. First big league start. Matt Wieters tonight, couple of walks. High fly ball, deep left center field, plenty of room for Wells, who makes the catch. Delabart into 6, went strikeout looking. Great catch by Figgins and a strikeout. So he's retired all 4 men he's faced.
Bring up Chris Davis. He has done the damage tonight. He has a double off the left field fence and then hit a 3-run home run deep into the seats in right field.
Both pitches were tattooed, and that second one was really leaned on. Look at that, right in his power zone.
a good year for the Orioles, hitting .277 now with 14 home runs.
I'm betting your 7-hole.
No. Playing right field tonight, but he can also play some third base. Certainly can play first. That's where we saw him with Texas when he was with the Rangers. Played a lot of first base for them.
So one night he walked off JJ and walked off Brandon Morrow back in 07, 08, 09.
Well, like we were talking earlier, Mike, with Jim Thome, a guy who could leave the yard either direction, opposite field or pull field. We saw Davis earlier go off the wall to left and then way deep in right. So a guy who's pretty balanced attack with his swing.
Delabar went right after him, 2-2.
And both of those pitches down in the strike zone. The last pitch that Delabar threw by him, fastball above the belt. Might want to stay in that area, especially Steve, because he has such a good fastball at 95.
2-2 to Davis.
And that's what we saw in that power zone as well. That balls that were middle and down, that's where he drove the best. Want to stay up in the top part of the zone.
Changed speeds on him, struck him out. Nice work by Delabar. He's got 3 strikeouts, 2 down here in the 7th.
Take a look at this last pitch. After a couple of good fastballs, he comes back with a split. Davis trying to cheat, get that barrel out in front of that fastball. Well out in front of the split, so a good pitch.
Mark Reynolds. Mentioning earlier about Reynolds, an all or nothing guy. His home run totals in the big leagues. One starting with Arizona in 07, 17, 28, 44, 32, and 37 last year. And it goes with the corresponding strikeouts too. 129, 204, 223, 211, and 196.
Reminds me a lot of a guy I played against, Rob Deere. I don't know if you guys remember Rob Deere.
Very well. He could hit. Boy, he hits. I remember watching, I think, a game of the week or something, watching him leave Tiger Stadium multiple times. When he was with the Brewers playing at Detroit. One, two. Rob Deere had 3,888 at bats, 1,409 strikeouts.
So choking up and going to right was out of the question.
Absolutely. You know those long distance bombers we see here for softball? That was him.
Yeah.
230 home runs. Crowd him and hit him. Occasionally, you'll hear some profanity here in Major League Baseball that will reach our microphones, to which we apologize.
And it was a split. It looked like it hit him on the forearm. Yeah.
Like it just grazed him, probably burned a little bit.
I think a lot of times when you get in the hands, wrist, the forearm area, I think it scares you more than it hurts at the time. You have that flinch because typically nothing good will happen.
Popped up short right field. You're thinking DL and you don't want to go into DL.
Yeah, exactly.
Fly ball to Ichiro. That'll do it. Getting late here for the Mariners. Coming up, they need some production. Ackley will start things off. Sean Figgins. And then Munenori Kawasaki when we get back to Safeco Field.
by the Emerald Queen Casino, the entertainment capital of the Northwest.
3-1 lead for the Orioles. First of 3 here at Safeco Field. Dave Sims, Mike Blowers, Dan Wilson with us tonight. There's Dustin Ackley to lead off. Here in the home 7th. Ackley, Figgins, and Kawasaki. Mariners got their run, 3rd inning. 1 out RBI by Ryan. 3-run homer by Chris Davis in the 4th for Baltimore. Ackley tonight struck out, hit a soft liner to second.
Hamill at 92 pitches working here in the 7th, so he's been efficient tonight. The season high is 115 pitches.
He got knocked around in his last start, June 27th at the Angels. 3 1/3, 8 runs, 2 Ks, 76 pitches. Threw 6, 1 run, 7 strikeouts on 89 pitches starting this inning. But now he walks Ackley on a 3-1 pitch. That's his first walk. Here's Tom Glasgow.
From the Forward Sports Desk, Dave, let's check in on the Red Sox. Of course, splitting 4 here against the Mariners. They made their way to the Bay Area to take on the A's. Dice-K on the mound and having some issues early. Bottom of the 2nd with a game tied at 1. Dice-K giving up the 3-run shot to Brandon Moss deep to right field. His 9th home run this season. A's lead it 6-1 in the top of the 7th.
Boy, the A's played some good ball last month and change. Here's Figgins. He represents the tying run. In at 3rd is Bettamy. Ball 1 to Figgins.
You know, Dave, you mentioned that career high 8 runs last outing for Hamill's giving that up. Probably why we've seen more breaking balls blow. My guess is during the week or since his last start, been working on that breaking ball and consciously going out tonight to mix a little bit more in. Probably got knocked around on his sinker last time through and decided, hey, let's throw some more breaking balls.
I think you must be right, because right now he is right around 55% fastballs, and again he has a good fastball. He's topped out at 95, 96 miles an hour and a good sinker. So that might be the trick. Up to that point he had pitched well. The other thing about it too is typically when pitchers, especially this time of the year when they have an outing like that, only throwing 76 pitches I believe, Buck Showalter might leave him in a little bit longer. He's pitching well tonight because he didn't get out to 100 like he normally would.
2-0 pitch to Figgins. 3-0. We got Kawasaki. He's on deck. Laid down his first Major League sacrifice in the 3rd inning. Pushed Figgins down to 2nd. He scored on the Ryan base hit. A 3-0 count. Guided that one in. So Figgy go to work here now.
Josh Kinney getting loose in the Mariners pen.
And there for strike 3-2.
Josh has been around just in the big leagues with St. Louis and then Chicago White Sox.
Two pitch. Runner goes. Swung on and missed. Throw to second. Dropped. Caught a break. Stolen base for Ackley, his 8th.
That was a great throw by Wieters. He comes out of the chute in good shape. Take a look at this throw down to second base, and Andino, who's already made an error, he just clanks it as Ackley slides in safe.
You can see right there why Wieters is an all-star. Great throw, right on the money. Plenty of time to get Ackley, who can run a little bit.
Slapped the other way. Base hit. Ackley to 3rd to hold him up right there. Kawasaki's aboard. He's had a good night.
Solid base hit, gets a fastball up, out over the plate, lines it into left field. So that drop tag attempt really helping the Mariners out. Again, another opportunity with a runner on third and less than 2 outs. See Bettamy trying to jump up and catch the line drive, not able to get there.
Kawasaki's aboard, and this copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. Former Mariner pitching coach Rick Adair out to speak with his starter. And in the bullpen right now, former Texas Ranger Darren O'Day.
And for the Mariners, that'll bring up Brendan Ryan. Brendan Ryan with the RBI earlier in the game, a base hit back in the third to drive in Figgins. Going to hit a line drive over the second baseman's head.
Ryan 2 for 4 against Jason Hamilton. Great opportunity here for the Mariners. And again, the bottom part of the order coming through. See if they can get on board. 6 hits for Seattle. Kawasaki back safely with the dive. He's 1 out of 3 in base stealing. Hamel checks the runner, ready to pitch to Ryan. Ball 1.
Hamel tried to run a 2-seam fastball in on Brendan. Did a great job of fighting it off and hitting a line drive into the outfield.
Going to 1-0 to Ryan. Runners at the corners. 1 out.
There you go. 93-mile-an-hour fastball centered in the plate.
Was a pitch to jump back into the count, Mike, to even it up. He needed a strike there. Now he evens it up. He can go to work.
After he missed with the breaking ball, coming back with a good fastball.
1-1 pitch. Down low. 2-1. 8 strikeouts, 1 walk tonight for Jason Hamilton. Doug Showalter. First full year here with Baltimore. Block again by Wieters. Wieters a big guy at 6'4", moves around very nicely behind the plate. 3-1 count.
Yeah, that's a good play. Keep that ball in front of him. Not only does it keep the runner from third scoring, also keeps the runner at first base, keeps the double play intact. And you're right, Dave. He's moved around there very well tonight. Guy who controls the field from behind that position.
Great opportunity here for Ryan and the Mariners. 3-1 pitch. Diving back is Kawasaki. Major League first tonight. 3 Japanese starters in the lineup for a Major League team. Iwakuma on the mound. Kawasaki at second in each row. There he is. He's on deck starting in right field. Pretty good lead by Kawasaki. First back safely, Ackley.
And that's a play that comes back from the bench. It looked like Bettamy was cheating over there as soon as Hamel faked the throw to first. He was already running to third. Wieters, the catcher, putting that play on.
Here comes the 3-1. Fouled off.
A lot of times you see the third to first, Mike. It's not often you see the first and turn to throw it back to third. As long as Hamill steps back off the rubber, he's in good shape.
Sixteenth start for Hamill. He's got one complete game under his belt. A 3-2 pitch to Ryan. Off speed pitch, popped up, playable. Wieters. He's there. Ryan cannot believe he just popped up. Went down to a Krause, had his hands on his head. 2 outs.
Again, Brendan driving in the only run for the Mariners, but he pops this one up. Wieters catching it, hits the railing, almost falls into the dugout. That's the reason why he gets rid of it. If he had gone down into the dugout, he can come back out to throw it, but he ought to come out first.
Yeah, and that's the key. A lot of times, as a player, you want to turn around and get rid of it. If he does go in the dugout, Mike, like you mentioned, he's got to come back onto the field of play before he can make a throw.
And as you know, you get around that dugout, he's probably worried he might fall down in the dugout, and obviously you could tag up and score on that. So,
especially right there where there's a lot of stairs, it's really unsure footing when you go into the dugout there, and Wieters doing a very good job of getting rid of that ball.
Big spot for Ichiro with 2 outs, 2 on. Not a good night for him thus far. Ground out, 2 strikeouts. Ichiro, 176. Runners in scoring position. And 2 outs.
Hamill up to 108 pitches, and he's been shaky in this inning. This is probably his last hitter.
It's 2-0 to Ichiro.
Team trying to run that 2-seamer off the outside corner, and he's consistently missed with that pitch in this inning.
Ichiro in charge right now, 2-0. Make it 3-0. Casper Wells is on deck. Had a single to center last time up. He's 1 for 3. Ichiro with a 3-0 count. Mariners trying to battle back. An early lead in the third. Chris Davis turned it around, made it this 3-1 score. Second all the way, 3-1.
Ichiro gets on here, Mike. It's kind of decision time for Buck Showalter. His starter up over close to 115 pitches, a right-hander in the bullpen, a right-hander on deck, so really becomes a decision for Buck.
Got a 3-1 here to Ichiro. Takes for ball 4. They're loaded up for Casper Wells.
Well, he has O'Day up. O'Day a sidewinder. He's a big sinker ball guy trying to keep the ball on the ground. Buck just calling down to the bullpen to make sure that he's okay. But again, as you mentioned, Dan, Hamill up to 112 pitches. His season high is 115.
Mariners left 2 men on in the 6th. When Seager grounded out, Olivo struck out. They scored once in the 3rd and left a runner on. They left a runner on in the 5th. What an opportunity here. Down 3-1, bases loaded. First pitch to Wells. In there for a strike. Wells 1 for 3 bases loaded situations thus far this season.
Casper had a base hit his last time up, hit the ball hard back up the middle. It was on a fastball.
This one to right center field. That will get down. Let him run. Scoring is Ackley. Scoring is Kawasaki. Here comes Ichiro. A bases clearing double by Casper Wells, and the Mariners take the lead at 4-3.
Casper Wells has been a hot hitter for the Mariners since being recalled from AAA. And this is a great piece of hitting. It looks like it's a slider up out over the plate. Take a look at the swing by Casper. Wieters set up away. That pitch is actually down. That's a great piece of hitting. That's a good pitch from Hamill. And Casper not trying to do too much with it and lines it into the gap. With 2 outs, Ichiro able to come around and score from first to get the Mariners the lead.
They were successful, Mike, getting him on that pitch first couple times up.
Adam Jones, he actually did a great job of running that down and keeping it from going to the wall. But with 2 outs, as soon as this ball there's contact, he takes off and is running. Ichiro rounds the bases about as well as anybody and scores easy.
Wells with his 7th double. Takes his RBI count to 15. As big a moment as he's had with this ball club.
Well, Mike, you mentioned Wells being one of the hotter hitters for the Mariners. That's why I'm surprised Buck waited to go to the bullpen, but here he comes now to make the change.
Yeah, I was surprised too. He had the right-hander up with the right-hander coming to the dish.
So he's going to Troy Patton, the left-hander. We'll be back with more. Mariners lead it 4-3 with a big 7th inning here at Safeco Field. Field, Casper Wells, a 2-out bases loaded double, puts the Mariners in front 4-3. New pitcher going to be Troy Patton, but first the look at Jason Hamill. Maybe one batter too much?
That may be. Look at him, 114 pitches. Again, his season high was 115. Struggled in his last outing, was really throwing the ball well, but struggling trying to get through the 7th inning, and finally the Mariners make him pay for it on a huge double from Casper Wells. 6 2/3, 7 hits. 4 runs, they were all earned. He is responsible for Casper Wells, who's out at second base. Give John Jaso a chance to drive him in. Mariners now 3 for 9 with men in scoring position.
7th double for Wells in a huge spot with 2 outs. Good for him. There's Troy Patton. Strike one to John. Jaso tonight, a couple of ground outs to short and a double off the left fielder's glove, deep left center field. Back in the 6th. Wonder if Buck Showalter second guessing himself.
We talked about it a little earlier, Mike, but both hits today that have driven in runs for the Mariners have been to the opposite field, and
there's some hits over there, Dan.
Yeah, there are. There's some RBIs, and Casper Wells doing just about putting on a clinic really on a slider that was down and away. A good pitch.
It was a good pitch, and it was down. Did a great job of just staying with that pitch. And again, because he was going with that slider the other way, he was able to slice it away from Adam Jones, who covers about as much ground as anybody in the big leagues, and he just wasn't able to run that one down.
I think that's the pitch that got him looking on the 3rd inning. He struck out looking. 2-1 pitch. Jaso pulls it down to the second baseman Andino. Throws him out, but a productive, an explosive inning by the Mariners. They load him up. They get to 2 outs, and then Wells drives everybody home. 4-3 Mariners.
Fruit Sports is brought to you by Snoqualmie Casino, Seattle's premier entertainment, gaming, and dining destination. By Sterling Bank. Life is about the good stuff. Your bank should be too. Visit our new website at bankwithsterling.com. And by AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. Let's send it back to Dave, Mike, and Dan.
All right, Tom, thank you. Mariners' fortunes have turned around. They lead it now 4-3. Top of the 8th. Sean Kelly takes over on the mound, the third Mariner pitcher.
Sean Kelly, fastball will be around 93, 94 miles an hour. Will use his slider. Good first pitch on the outside corner.
Top of the order.
Numbers for Sean. 3.57 ERA, 25 strikeouts in the 22 2/3 that he has worked.
Top of the order in Dino. Count at 1-1.
Dan, we were talking about it as we went to break, and Dino, the second baseman tonight, made an error earlier, but maybe a bigger play. As Olivo takes that off the helmet. Is this right here? There's a strikeout, and then the throw to second base. Ackley would have been dead to right, so you would have had 2 outs and nobody on. Instead, he drops the ball. Ackley slides in safe.
You know, as I look at that replay blow, it looks like Andino just at the last second started to look to make the tag.
He did.
Before he caught the ball, and he took his eye off just a little bit.
Well, I think the thing that's good to see right there is the Mariners catch a break, obviously, on that play. That's a play that should be made. They catch a break there and take advantage of it. Now they have the lead by a run as opposed to being down by 2.
Yeah, and that's huge. And you know how important that momentum is during a ball game, and them not making that play keeps the momentum for the Mariners, and then they were able to capitalize.
Inside 3-2 to Andino. Kelly thought he had him.
Extra outs will cost you.
Yeah, the Orioles have given teams a lot of extra outs this season.
As we mentioned, they're last in the American League in defense, 70 errors this year.
He's gone now. Andino, a strikeout victim at the hands of Sean Kelly. 1 out in the 8th.
Sean going with the good slider. That's his out pitch. Great location. See the grip and watch the spin of the ball in our McDonald's Supermo. This ball looks like it's going to be in the strike zone. Andino, being aggressive, gets out in front of it. Well located slider.
J.J. Hardy, the hitter, a couple strikeouts, one looking, one swinging, and a foul out to Miguel Olivo.
Oliver Perez, the hard-throwing left-hander, getting loose in the Mariners' pen.
I think the thing I noticed on that last pitch, on the strikeout pitch, that slider, Sean really got on top of that one. Mike had good downward movement, which is what he's been working on since the beginning of the season.
Right field for Ichiro. Couple steps to his left. 2 outs. Ride Sound Transit. Save on gas and parking. Plus help the environment. Visit soundtransit.org for details. Wilson Betamete popped out to Seager, grounded out to second, took a called third strike. Good looking pitch. 1-1.
Pitch too.
Yep.
Looked like a good fastball at 93. He's definitely on the plate.
Certainly Miguel thought that was a strike. He held it there just for that extra tick. Usually kind of a message to the umpire to say, hey, take another look at that.
And Brian Knight, home plate umpire, decided not to call it, but it was a good pitch.
I guess it's maybe more of a polite way of saying you missed it.
You would know, right?
A lot off of that one. End of the game, or maybe the next day. Will the guy say, hey, you know, I didn't pitch last night in the 8th. I missed that one. They give you that sometimes?
Yeah, maybe not the next day, but if you can kind of talk to him maybe during the ball game and say, hey, where did you have that particular pitch?
Yeah. Kelly's got Betamete 2-2 here. 2 outs, nobody on. 8th inning. 1-run ball game. Pitch. Struck him out. Sean Kelly. Bullpen continues to prosper. Great work. 2 strikeouts here in the 8th. It's a 4-3 Mariner lead. Continues to prosper. Look at what they've done since June 1 to now. And let's get the thoughts of Eric Wedge on how the boys in the pen have been performing.
Well, I think our bullpen's done a great job. I mean, we've had to go to them quite a bit. And, you know, one thing about a bullpen, they're their own fraternity down there, you know, and they do a great job of coming together and leaning on each other. And, you know, you call on one guy, then, you know, he comes in and does a job, and then, you know, the next guy's turn. I mean, it's his job to come in and you know, hold it where it is. And you know, we've had to move people around down there quite a bit, and we've used people early, we've used people late, and you know, really for the most part, you know, they've been very consistent and done a great job for us.
Good insight from the manager, Eric Wedge. So the Mariners coming off a 3-run 7th. Last time they had a 3-run inning was the top of the 2nd last Saturday, the 23rd of June, against San Diego. And Seager pulls one foul. Strike 1.
Eric talking about that fraternity down there. I think that's an important piece.
Good time warming up.
And I think it's important to note that Jamie Navarro is the president of that fraternity down there, and he does a great job of preparing these guys mentally before they come into a ball game.
0-1 pitch to Seager. Foul tonight. Ground out, soft liner, and a tapper right in front of the mound, right in front of the plate. There's Jamie Navarro, very accomplished pitcher in his day, as was his dad. Tim Wilhelmsen warming up.
Saw Tom getting loose in the pen. I'm sure that he wouldn't mind another run or two and help him out in the 9th.
Oh, 2 strikes. Two. 4 runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Mariners. 3 runs, 3 hits, and 1 error for Baltimore. Slow breaking ball hit the center field. Adam Jones settles under it. 1 down here in the 8th inning. Hey, you know, the Stars align for the 2012 Major League Baseball All-Star Game, best of the American League. Take on the National League's top players, so don't miss all the action Tuesday, July 10, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time at 4:30 p.m. Pacific on Fox. Boys' favorite All-Star memories, All-Star Game memories.
Well, for me, it's going to be 1996, being able to play in an All-Star game, and it's really a dream come true, being able to share it with 4 teammates, and great experience. Philadelphia, Dave, you know that well. Veterans Stadium.
That's it.
It was
late and not lamented.
It was
Veterans Stadium.
But it was what a thrill to just even be able to walk in the locker room there and see some of the names on those lockers and be a part of all the festivities. What a great couple of days.
How about you, Mike? Favorite memory watching as a kid?
Mine's easy. Mine is easy. I think it was the one that was right here. It was the first All-Star game that I ever was able to go to, first of all. But the thing that was cool about it is for the home run hitting contest, my oldest son I was able to bring, he was 8 years old at the time, was able to bring him to the ballpark. And we sat up into the upper deck just past the foul pole during the home run hitting contest.
There's a drive. Look at this. Speaking of upper deck, get up. Gone. Home run, Miguel Olivo.
There's an insurance run for you.
You know it. 7th home run for Miguel, RBI number 17.
Miguel with a base hit earlier in the game. Back in the second inning, he had a base hit. This is his 7th home run of the year. Take a look at the swing by Miguel. A lot of power for him. You leave a pitch middle away to him, and he's going to hurt you.
Hit right down on it.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Here's another one. Ackley going right side. Goodbye. Home run, Dustin Ackley. For Ackley, his 5th as the Mariners have a power surge here in the 8th.
That didn't take long, did it? The next pitch. The very next pitch, Dustin Ackley hammers it. Been a while for him. That has to feel good. His 5th home run of the year.
Boy, is that a great sight or what for Ackley? First homer since May 30. For Olivo, first home run since June 22nd. Cha-ching! Biggie turns around and bats right-handed.
First pitch fastball right on the inside corner, and he gives it a ride.
Dustin not wanting to get too deep into the count with that lefty, finds that first fastball and just gives it a ride.
Nice to see the Mariners with a couple of home runs. That gives them 71 as a team. They started the day 11th in the American League. Hardy. Hustling Figgins is nipped. 2 outs. So let's get back to your All-Star story.
I was in the upper deck, and they had the home run hitting contest. We were up there for the home run hitting contest.
Right.
And it was great because Jason Giammi was ricocheting balls off of the glass, and a couple of them ended up pretty close to where we were at, into the upper deck. So it was a lot of fun. And I'll always remember that. Of course, Cal Ripken in that same All-Star game, his last one, hitting the home run.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, it was fun.
My favorite All-Star memories from growing up in the 50s and 60s, particularly with more black players coming in, was almost any year the National League fielded a team, because through most of the 60s, they had Willie Mays leading off. And there was a plethora of National League black stars in the National League. Ernie Banks, Frank Robinson, yeah, Clemente, Mays, Aaron. I mean, so for me, that was a great source of pride growing up in Philly back in those days, and certainly that was in the heat of the civil rights movement. Kawasaki, he strikes out to end the inning. It looks like closing time. The big fella, Tom Wilhelmsen, coming on. The bartender, 6'3" Mariners. Mariners at Safeco Field. 8th inning, a beauty. You got Olivo sending one out of the yard, and immediately following Ackley. Back-to-back home runs for the Mariners. They've extended the lead. And now let's get to our Nissan shift to the bullpen. Here in the 9th inning, the bartender Tom Wilhelmsen takes over.
Take a look at his numbers. He has been outstanding lately. Tom, again, fastball will be 95 to 98 miles an hour, and one of the best 12-6 curveballs in the American League.
Adam Jones will lead it off. Jones, Tomey, Wieters, 4, 5, and 6 for the Orioles. First pitch, strike to Adam Jones, who's 0 for 3. Mariners in that bottom of the 8th. Second time this season they've gone back-to-back homers. They did it May 20th at Colorado, Montero, and Smoke. Knocked out a play, 0-2.
Well, as you mentioned, Mike, a couple of insurance runs there in the bottom half of the 8th. Now Tom just needs to be real aggressive with that fastball, especially early in the count. Throws 2 good ones, now ahead 0-2.
Really makes a big difference.
Oh, huge. Huge, huge.
Good to see Ackley on the board with a home run. 0-2 to Jones. Hammered. Time. Goodbye.
Well, after a couple of good fastballs, Tom, we mentioned the great curveball, and he just locks up Adam Jones. Nothing that he can do. Catches the inside corner. No argument there.
That is one nasty pitch. Jim Tomey. What do you think is your Mariner MVP tonight? 733-733. Give us your thoughts. 1-0 to Tomey. Talking about the height of Hamill being a big guy. This Wilhelmsen coming downhill is pretty imposing as well.
Really is, and he has a little more on his fastball. Again, he can top out at 98.
Ran it away. Did not go, says Wally Bell.
'22nd season. What a career.
2-1 to Tomey. Here's the fastball. Jim didn't agree.
I wonder how many 98-mile-an-hour fastballs Jim Tomey saw 22 years ago. Probably not many. But Tom Wilhelmsen gave him one right there.
2-2 pitch. Big Jim bounced it up there. Even if you know that baby's coming, it's still got to be murder to hit, right?
The curveball?
Yeah, when he 12-6s?
No chance. I think a 12-6 curveball is hard to square up anyway. And when you're trying to get ready to hit 97, and then he drops that thing in there, maybe a little bit easier for a lefty, but a right-hander, that's not much fun.
Yeah. Oh, what a difference a year makes. Watch him on the mound now. His body language, his confidence, it's supreme. 3-2 to Tomey. High heat missed. Tomey's aboard. It's only the 4th walk issued by Mariner pitching tonight. Matt Wieters, a couple of walks and a fly to center. Strike one. Six runs, the most the Mariners have scored in the last 11 games. Big time trying to put a wrap on it. This might be able to do it. Double play opportunity. There's one. There's two. And there you have it. Shutdown time, closing time here at Safeco Field. Casper Wells, big 3-run, 7th inning double, puts the Mariners over the top, and they beat the Orioles by the count of 6-3. As Miguel Olivo and Dustin Ackley, 8th inning home runs, provide insurance.
Great job for the pitching again tonight, holding the Orioles to just 3 runs. Iwakuma going in as a spot start, then turning it over to the bullpen. But Eric Wedd's just been waiting for somebody to come up with a huge base hit for him. And tonight that guy is Casper Wells. Really broke this thing open, giving the Mariners the lead 4-3. And then, of course, the add-on runs with the homers. But Casper Wells in that at-bat that he had, Dan, was big for this game tonight.
Yeah, the Mariners and Eric Wedge looking for a hit with runners in scoring position. And Casper Wells was the guy to do it tonight. Got that slider, drove it into right center, cleared the bases, and got the Mariners on top. So huge hit by Casper Wells. And you're right, the bullpen did a fantastic job after they got the lead.
That pitch that he hit was the one he had taken a called third strike, and they'd been pounding, as you talked about. That was their scouting report in the first couple of
adjustments. Making adjustments is exactly what Casper did. And it was a good pitch, too. That slider was in a great location, and it was just a nice piece of hitting on Casper's part.
Good job by Casper Wells, standing by with Angie Mentink.
All right, guys, thank you very much. Casper, you're trailing by 2 at the time. How does your approach change with the bases loaded?
I know he's got to throw. He's got to throw somewhere near the plate. I mean, there's no bases open. So, he's been getting me with that slider all day, getting